Computer. Okay, welcome guys to a power a half hour. It's going to be a smidge under half hour because I do have a hard stop, but that is what scheduling your day before your day begins is all about. And it allows you to carve out time. And I have found that I've been in network marketing for over 4 years now. The first 9 months were I was not taught any systems. And that's why I love Q and our systems here. And our main system is the laundry cycle, step 2 of your launch document. And the first step of that is to pique people's interest. But why I love Power Half Hours is because not only are you able to pique people's interest, but before you even pique people's interest, we want to get them to a place where they're open to hearing this exposure and what you do have to offer as a solution. And then we also have to have people in our network, right? So that's what my power half hours are all about. It's just funnels, right? So you have your first funnel of expanding your network. Okay. You have your second funnel of connecting with them so that they trust you and that you can further glean what their needs are. And then the last part of a power half for me is inviting. And like I said, I've been in network marketing for 4 years. I started doing this a little over 3.5 years ago once I joined Q. And I think I've done this pretty much every day because the thing is, when you're spending intentional time serving people and connecting with people, my two literal favorite things in the world, I don't know, besides Christmas Hallmark movies, then you don't find that you need a break from social media. When you control what you're seeing on your feed, who you're following, the things that your brain is ingesting, you don't need a break that often. If you just find yourself scrolling through things all the time instead of this intentional time, then I can understand why that's exhausting. But if you carve out 30 minutes a day, and these things are so fun for me, and you do it consistently over time and get better at the skills involved with them, you will be so excited about how many people you've helped and what kind of businesses you've helped people create 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road. So let's get started. I'm going to set a timer. I have about 25 minutes. So each of these funnel filling things is going to be 8 minutes. The first thing we want to start with is expanding our network, okay? Because I don't think you'll ever really run out of people to talk to. But at the same time, we're really big about showing up and authentically helping people. So being active in groups is one way that you will find people. So is it a group of moms in your area? Is it a group of people who have like-minded interests like goat yoga or something? Whatever group you're in, you should be interacting in there. You can use this 8 minutes to go to that group and interact in there, because what you don't want to do is just go and friend a bunch of people without them knowing who you are or recognizing your name. Okay. Instagram's a little bit different than Facebook. It is way more socially acceptable to follow people that you find positive minded, that you find bring value, that you could see yourself wanting to work with. The other way, if you're on Instagram, if you're an Instagram person, is spend this 8 minutes finding those people, searching hashtags. You can even search cities or countries that you want to expand in. You can search professions. I have a huge pod of rock stars who are all in the hair world. They're stylists, and they hone in on stylists in certain areas where they want to build, and they find hashtags and follow those people. And when they follow them, they send them a message and tell them why they followed them. It may or may not be to partners. Sometimes they are direct. Hey, I'm coming to your city. I checked out your profile. I have something that you might want to look at. I don't know. Or they just follow them because I love your page. I love the tutorials we give, whatever. And then you are going to want to be writing these people down that you have expanded your network with today. That's super important. So another idea to expand your network in this first funnel is mutual local friends. So if you see that you have a friend or someone that suggested that has 15, 20 mutual friends, friend them and tell them like, hey, we must run in the same circle since we live in the same town. I just wanted to stay connected here on Facebook. Do you have any kids? And see if you guys have kids the same age or something like that. And so those are the things to fill that first funnel. Doesn't really matter what you do. If you have questions about the the ways to do it that have the best traction, then you can put those in the chat. But you are spending this time intentionally expanding your network, adding people by following them on Instagram or by adding them on Facebook. There's a message attached to both those. Okay, if you have questions, add them. Okay, so that was a quick, quick 8 minutes. This really does go fast, and that's why it's not about. I mean, what do they say? An elephant to eat an elephant, it's one bite at a time. I don't know why people were eating elephants at some point, but you get the picture. Elephants are huge, and sitting down and doing a lot at once probably leads more to burnout than these little chunks of things. So hopefully you got two, three, maybe people added to your network, and that will, start to accumulate over time. When I started network marketing, I think I had like 400 friends on Facebook, and I didn't even have an Instagram. So it does accumulate, trust me. All right, the next funnel, right? As we have people like getting into our funnel now, we want to connect with them. All right, connection is so huge to me. It is my main reason I love what I do, is because even if no one ever feels better from taking, like the sport or the probiotic or the collagen, just the fact that I've connected with people instead of just stayed in my little box. Because honestly, being a work from home mom, stay at home mom is pretty isolating. And if you don't know my story, I do talk about it very publicly, that a lot of what I do to connect with people, not just online, but in person, is because I had a brother who was so in isolation, which was his choice. And we thought he was good and okay with that. It ended up being deadly for him, and he died by suicide. And, I do talk about that very bluntly and directly. It's not hyperbole when it happens to your brother, right? So connection's super important to me, and connecting from the heart. So there's a couple ways that I connect. I have a hot 20 list. Now, if you don't know what that is, Kristen Wyatt trains on it. I have that training in a collection. It's called the Boards app, and I have a collection of all things Q. You could get lost in there, but the training is in there. If you want to have access to all of my stuff in there, just private message me. But the Hot 20 is a list of 20 people that you are purposely and intentionally connecting with for a week or two or three. It's up to you. And so you want to start with those people. Have they posted? Do they have a story going on? Have they asked you a question that you need to follow up with? That's what you're using this time for. If you haven't started that and you want to be productive today, start finding your Hot 20 list. Okay. The other thing I like to do is, I don't do this every day, but birthdays, and I don't message people directly about their birthdays. What I do is I go a day or two after their birthdays, and I write on their wall that, I hope that they had an amazing, or I'm glad they had it, because usually they post that I had a great birthday. I'm glad you had a great birthday. I hope your year coming up is wonderful, or whatever, because doing it every day does get does get a little exhausting. So if you just clump your people, Facebook has a great way of telling you all the birthdays that just passed and what's coming up. So you could do either of those things, like, hope you have a good birthday coming up. Story replies are so powerful. Scroll all the way back in your stories, because the people who pop up front in your stories are probably all of us, and probably people you talk to all the time. We want to be connecting with people. So we want to scroll back to see those people who we haven't been seeing. And then commenting back. And it actually takes a while to scroll through and genuinely comment. So you could use more than 10 minutes on that. What I mean by comment back is, hopefully you're posting, and it doesn't have to be about Q, but you're just posting on social media in general, and hopefully people are interacting with you. If they're not, then that means you're not interacting with them. So yes, then you need to go comment on a lot of people's posts genuinely. But I found that as I started doing that, people would comment on mine, and then they continue to comment because you have commented back. I always find it so disheartening when people comment on a post and the original poster doesn't comment back. Those people took out time to let you know that they read your post. And so, even if it's just a quick heart emoji, if you're super busy. So let's take some time to connect with people that are already in our network, in any one of those ways. Okay, that wasn't quite 8 or even 10 minutes, but hopefully you are getting an idea of what to be doing with 30 minutes. And like I said, this is recording. It's going to go in my boards under Power Hours. I have a section under there, and you can do this and pause it and do longer if your day allows that, if you have carved out that time, which is incredible. So the last thing with the funnels, right? We expanded our network, we connected with people who are in our network, and now we have probably spent a lot of time connecting with people if you do this consistently. So some people who you didn't originally invite to, if you are brand new, make sure that you have reached out to your mentor, whoever that is, if that's your direct sponsor, who is helping you. There are tons of trainings too, but someone can get on a Zoom with you and teach you how to invite people specifically in your network. So this is more geared towards people who have been working a little bit longer. But again, as soon as you get done with that initial invite, you can drag that on too. You can be in queue for a year and talk about the new project you just started and be reaching out to people like that. Lots of trainings on invites. What I am specifically doing today, though, is I have a Supplement Life with Q group that I am an admin with several other incredible leaders: Katie Tufte, Katie Abart, Kalina Raboyne, Becky Demode, and Ashley Garcia. And what we do is we provide value, we provide updates, and we also share the customer specials that get dropped. I feel like we have built this thing all year. This is our day. This is our time. This is when we have been building this community there so that they can see these specials. So if you want to be a part of that and you're not, you can send a request. I think it is still hidden, so maybe message me. But what I'm doing is asking people if I sent you the invite to our holiday specials group. I have no idea what's dropping tomorrow. I have no idea what's dropping for our Black Friday and then our Christmas stuff, but it might be something that you're looking for. Remember, these are people that you've been connecting with. At some point, you've probably asked them if they need a solution. And at some point, they probably told you what it is. It's not even if they do. Everyone needs what we have. So then just extending that invite. We never just want to mass add people to that group, but having those specific conversations. And yes, most people would like to save money. I'm actually calling it a holiday special group right now because these are unique self-care gifts. These gifts. These are the types of words I'm using, and the words we choose, that's a skill that we do learn over time. If you are not interested in adding them to a group, I will tell you the benefit of adding them to a group is that they continue to get exposed without you having to be intentional about it. And you have testimonials and information in there that you can just then tag people in. So you're using our system and we are your third party expert. The other thing you can be spending this time, and I am going to end the Zoom because I do have to go pick up my son. So please, if you carved out a little bit extra time, 5-10 minutes doing this, inviting to that group, or I didn't see any calls in the movement tonight. A recording is what you would want to invite people to. And it really is a step-by-step process. It is, hey, I have had you on my mind to look at something. Do you happen to have 20-25 minutes today? And if they say yes, then you want to choose a recording from either the person you would end up introducing them to or someone that would resonate with them because they have similar lifestyle or interests or things like that. Okay. So that's the last thing. And I will tell you that a lot of people spend time expanding or connecting in the network and then never send an invite to look at the things, you guys. So, I had to work through some of this stuff. I was a person that never used to throw a party because I was afraid no one would come and, oh, poor me, that would hurt my ego. And I had so many limiting beliefs to work through with that. So trust me. If you are still in that space where you are not inviting people, but you do want to continue to tiptoe towards that, please ask your people for referrals. Even if you've asked someone to look at something before and they said no, feel free to circle back around. And in fact, it builds your rapport with them even more. Like, hey, I said no to this person and she's reaching back out. She's rather businessy versus spammy. I told her no, but she's asking, do I know anybody who might be interested in X, Y, and Z? Okay. But if you haven't reached out to people before, you can still ask them for referrals indirectly. You can ask them for, this is a tip that someone on my team gave me the other day. You can ask them for recommendations of, hey, I'm going to have a little event. What's your favorite coffee shop in town? And then they'll be like, oh, well, what kind of event are you having? right? And then so then you can naturally just sort of talk about what you're doing and what's going on. There are lots of ways that you can invite people. It's your personality, it's your confidence, it's your posture. Those are skills. I promise they will come the more you do this. So don't fret if you're just asking for referrals, but asking to join or be invited to the group and then asking for them to hop on a live Zoom, meet you in person and for coffee. I'm doing a lot of one-on-one coffee dates. Those type of invitations. That's how you want to spend your last 10 minutes of doing a power half. But like I said, I have to pop off. And if you have time to do that part of it, it is the part that actually builds your business. But you need those first two parts to make sure that you have people to invite. So hope so you found like one smidge of value in this. I know I got some things done. You guys keep me accountable. Thank you, Carrie, and I will talk to you guys later.